Media dogs, they're hip and they're cool. They're nobody's fool. They know the story in your town. Cause George and Pat and Lou have been around. Media dogs, alone in your room. You watch us on Zoom. We'll tell you where to find the fun. And the bad times will be on the run. Media dogs, we're watching those shows. We'll tell you what blows. We watch a lot of movies, it's true. But you know we do it all for you. Media dogs, 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 media dogs. That was a bad movie. I didn't like that at all. That sucks. Oh yeah, don't watch that. Don't even know if we like it.
Yeah, that would be that would be a lot of fun. What actually I should ask you to not hear, but send me a so Lily took a class last semester on French cinema. So that was cool, right? And I was able to turn she had a couple films that they could pick themselves to watch. And so I turned her on the Delicatessen, which they loved, her and her friend that watched it.
He's got a new movie out now.
Oh, they do? Or
He has his new movie out. What is it called? Big Bug?
Oh,
I remember.
cool.
I just read about it like 2 days ago.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm really glad. Yeah.
Let me make sure I got the right guy.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Heather hates. Jeez, you guys got me all. Heather hates French films. She always falls asleep during them.
Man, my yeah, Big Bug. My brother-in-law married a wonderful woman. She's incredible. We all just love her, and she's French Iranian. Her family is French Iranian, and I was at their house, and she was like had her arms around this woman. They were laughing. And she goes, "This is one of my friends from France." I go, "You'd be interested in her." And I go, "Why?" She goes, "Her last name's Truffaut."
Oh my God.
He goes, "She's Truffaut's daughter."
Oh,
That's
I was like,
amazing.
oh my God.
she's a chip off the old blow.
There you go.
Nice.
Hello.
I have no problem putting 400 blows in my top 20.
Yeah, it was funny because I'm not sure. I never get the rundown of all the films that they watch. Like she watched.
Oh yeah, what'd they watch?
Well, I know they watched The Umbrellas of Chermberg, right?
I've never seen that.
Which is really good. It's the palette, like the color, the
Yeah.
colors and things are like I don't think there's ever been another film like that. But you know, Catherine Deneuve is young and great. And,
The Umbrellas of Zuckerberg.
yeah, there we go.
But the Metastorm, you don't have any, you can't hide from it anywhere.
But I would imagine they watched some Truffaut, but I forgot to ask her. Because I was gonna turn her on to that, but I wasn't sure. And then I thought it'd be easier because she likes horror and stuff, so I thought she'd really like Delicatessen.
Oh yeah.
But that's just what I was gonna ask you. So next she's taken with the same teacher this semester, but it's African films, and I don't have a list in my head of films even.
Oh, CLC is
really
doing
weak on
4.
African.
CLC is doing 4.
Yeah. Chris
And-
Cooling's doing a whole film series on it.
And one of them's not The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Yeah, please no. Yeah, he's going to Ghana on a study abroad trip.
Oh, that's
pretty
cool.
I must have read that in the paper. Why, I don't have enough light in here. Sorry. Talk amongst yourself.
Blah blah.
I'm really weak on African film. I've seen like Mulad, which I thought was cool. What's that one? Ali, Fear Eats the Soul.
Lion
That's
King.
Lion King.
Lion King. No, that's fun.
I still haven't seen that one.
That's
You haven't
good.
seen Lion King?
No, I don't really want to. I don't
I think
go for that stuff.
I think it's way overrated. Yeah.
I will say that when I was staying with another cousin, this week, he put on that live action, well, that quote unquote live action version
Yeah.
of Lion King, which I had never had any interest in seeing, but seeing it on a 4K TV, like it was amazing.
I want to get a 4K
Cool.
TV, but we got to wait till we move.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is like, and maybe it's just even just the high def. When you watch movies, they look like you're watching a soap opera, and it's weird. Movies,
You got it.
they don't like that. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to change the setting on it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at a list of like the top 20 African films of all time, and I know like right now I know like 2 of them. So, and one of them is District 9.
Hey. No.
But Battle of Algiers is supposed to be one of the great films. I know that. I've never seen it, but I know it gets talked about all the time.
African Queen.
Yeah. African Queen, of course, out of Africa.
All
I'm
right.
sure they're going to watch Out of Africa.
Yeah, out of
Am I
Africa.
gonna get canceled? Am I being?
Yeah. Well, no, it's weird to me that it's a category of film that it somehow got by me, because we see all the different kinds of, the Italian, the French, the Swedish films or whatever, from,
Yeah, Iranian film has been blowing up for a long time.
yeah.
I just read that they're coming out with a Criterion is going to come out with a 4K Citizen Kane.
Oh,
And
wow.
the advanced word on it is that it's a revelation. It looks that it's the closest you're ever going to get to like perfection on it. I'm just like, I can't wait to see that.
It's too
Yeah.
bad I'm too old to enjoy it.
Why?
I don't know, that stuff, it all looks the same to me. I don't see, oh, we've remastered it and it's in 4K. And I'm like, I've seen this before. It's a good movie, but
Yeah.
eh,
It looks good.
I don't know what I've done. For some reason, I'm way bigger.
Yeah.
Like I'm feet away from
You're
my.
the man. We're Blue and I are the satoites. That's
Yeah.
how it should be.
Exactly. You're the main anchor.
I
you're
am
the
Joe.
main-
I am Joe.
You're the showrunner.
Yeah, the showrunner. Hey, speaking of which, so I haven't spoken really. I've only talked to one person about this. Where we might be doing. There's a kid that. Well, in fact, his dad recorded the original theme, and he's always wanted to be on Mediadawgs, and I'm like, well, it's kind of the 3 guys, and so we thought maybe sometime later this year we might do something called Mediadawgs 2000, like the Mediadawgs of the future.
Oh,
I like it.
Since
Sure.
it's millennial, and it'd be less this and more, I don't know. It just fast paced, and because I like this, but he's a kid. It's like 35 or 36 or something, and he's going to keep it moving, and so we'll see. It's not going to be any movies tonight or anything, but remember you guys don't remember Movies Tonight?
What was that?
It was a show that we had these kids do camera for us. And of course now I'm drawing a blank, but the 2 kids, their dad would do a workout in the lobby at Jones Intercable, and the sons, Andy and
oh yeah.
I can't think of their name. Andy and and they made films. This is bugging me. I feel like I'm getting my head chopped off. Tim Somerville, Andy and Tim
Oh
Somerville.
yeah, that's some of the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember them.
So they used to do a show called Movies Tonight. And a lot of times it would air after our show. And it was really bad. And one time I did a promo for their show, and I'm desperately looking for that promo because it was actually really funny. Because
Why was it bad?
it was just and I'm about to describe our show. Hey, get out of there. I'm sorry, I I got a dog that's going in the garbage over there. He's not even supposed to be in this room. They would go in without any, well, I don't think they had any plans. It was just pandemonium. It was like high school kids pandemonium.
Ah,
Yeah. So
we can call it, and this is my attempt to get us off on a bad footing here, is we can call it Mediadawgs New Blood, like Dexter New Blood.
oh yeah. Yeah, which I think was the best written Dexter series ever.
that's what I've heard.
Wait,
Well,
wait.
it's not saying a lot.
Well, no,
Yeah.
this is great. Then this will get us off on a bad foot, because I was going to say that it was just as bad as the final season. They were bragging about
No.
bringing it back and fixing that final season, and I thought it was just, Lily and I both, like, it was like the just as bad as the final season to us.
Well, can I tell you my
Last season
story?
was so bad.
Yeah.
So Heather and I, it was kind of we were binging before binging was a thing. We would New Year's Eve we'd have we'd have DVDs of it, and we'd be like, another one? Yeah, sure, why not? It's New Year's Eve, and it'd be like 4 a.m. We'd be like, another one? Why not? You got to see how he gets out of this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one where and I don't think I'm giving anything. If I'm
No, you're yeah.
Huertas is murdered.
Spoilers alert. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw the second to last, and we were like, I was like, I don't think I ever want to see that again. And so we skipped the last one, and then we got Showtime to get New Blood, and we're like, well, let's watch that last one. And I feel like I'm talking about Star Wars. So which 3 is this now?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's how we talk about it.
And New Blood, isn't that like a Stallone thing too? Well, anyway, so I'm like, ooh, Charlotte Rampling.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into Dexter. Although I have to say, I think it was better than the second to last one. It's still like him. That image of him on his boat riding into the hurricane is like something I'll never be able to wipe away from my mind. And then no, you know what? No, and then I'm not going to give away the ending of this one, but it was like, oh, good. You know,
I actually read a review of the last one because I knew I wasn't going to watch it, but I wanted to know how it ended. It sounded better.
Well, yeah, just for us, it was like, at least to me, it was so predictable. And then the supporting cast, they were, the sheriff, his love interest sort of got better as the season went on, but the rest of those actors were just,
She was a Native American version of his sister, which made it even stranger.
Yeah, it was weird because she looked
just like her.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that instead of Harry, it was Deb that was talking to him.
Yeah, well, again, that's what I was going to say about that's one of the things I hated about that final season, and I guess specifically Charlotte Rampling's character, was that all of a sudden they were like, it wasn't Harry's code, it was this therapist's code, and it was that. Of course, that's the original series. This new season is whatever. I mean, Clancy Brown was good, I guess.
Who was that?
He was the bad guy. No.
Oh yeah, I guess. I don't know. They're a dime a dozen now. Ever since Malkovich, you can't really. So, yeah, I don't know. Head and Shoulders, like I said, I think it was the best Dexter ever. But that's like saying, Pope Frank is the best Pope in history.
But I mean, better than those other seasons. Because again, that's what I was going to say. I mean, when I talk about, Dexter, like you mentioned, you talk about this and this Star Wars and that Star Wars. It's like easy for me to go, Dexter first season was really good. Second season's my favorite. Third season was not good. That was the one with Jimmy Smits.
Oh wait, did I say Malkovich? I meant Lithgow.
Lithgow, yeah. The fourth season with Lithgow is great. Wasn't my favorite, but everybody else's favorite, and deservedly so. and then I liked season 5, which was Julia Stiles, and a lot of people didn't like that one. And then after that, it just progressively starts going downhill.
Who was the villain in the second season?
That was
Dexter.
that woman, I think her name's Jamie something. She was the crazy love interest psycho that he was.
Oh, can we use the word psycho?
Got it.
No.
Okay, so can I just say, who was the villain? Dexter. Dexter's always been the villain, and that's what I think what really started getting to me during the New Blood is that I'm like, this effing show has made me complicit with murder just because I think it's okay too now. Like they've convinced me that it's okay to murder because they did bad things. And I'm all for the serial killer. And I was starting to get really pissed off. And I think it was because the sheriff and we also noticed that a lot of those, like a lot of aspects or, of the last series, let's put it that way, or of New Blood, were like other series. Like they were trying to do like a Twin Peaks thing with Teddy,
Right.
And like whatever even happened to Teddy, he just like disappeared. But like the other lieutenant, I think he was the lieutenant. These things like kind of wash away because I've got to make room for more TV.
Yes.
It was like I like those characters, and then he just goes and kills him, and it's like, okay, Dexter. You know what? This show has made me complicit in thinking it's okay for all this to be happening, and that pisses me off.
So spoiler alerts. Spoiler alert for the final episode for whoever's watching. But
His son shoots him.
huh? Yeah. So they when I read a review of it, they said the thing that they liked about it was that they finally stopped romanticizing him, and you see him laid bare.
Well, he breaks his own code. He breaks his code. He murders good people all of a sudden. And I think that's what the kid realizes at the end. He's like, oh, well, and it's ambiguous. Like, does the kid have the dark passenger or not? They kind of skirt around it. It's almost like a father-son having, the sex talk. They don't really, you'll have these feelings and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There's a lot. I just, once again, I thought it was the best one, but the writing's always been horrible. The acting's been so-so. Some's been good. Some's been ridiculous. I never did like Angel.
Oh yeah.
And then he never shows up. He's gonna come. I'll be there the next day. And
that was one of the things that it was like, here comes Angel, and it was such a stupid scene to even be in there.
No, and wouldn't that have been interesting to see Angel in upstate New York? There's so many things that they just lost. They just failed. I think it was a failure. I think the whole thing was a failure, and yet so compelling that I saw eventually every season.
Yeah. Oh well, you have to. Yeah. I mean, like when it kept going in the original, and then was looking forward to the new one, it was there's a lot of hate watching involved.
I never did though. Like I said, I think they did. They just somehow made me complicit.
No, you're right. Look, but again, we do that for a lot of shows. It was Jamie Murray was the name of the actress that played Lila in that second season. But again, look at she's one of my favorite characters on the show, and she was a psychotic killer. So I'm implicit there. I mean,
can we think psychotic? Is that okay?
So just as a little side note, for as annoying as that bring back was, I'm so excited that they're doing new Justified finally. Did you hear that?
Never heard of it.
I've only watched some of that show, but I like it a lot. I love him. I think he's great. And also his nemesis on that show.
Walton Goggins.
I love him as an actor. Jeez.
Oh, I do too.
But yeah, Justified's great, and it really deserved more episodes, and they're doing it based on another Elmore Leonard novel about Raylan Givens. So
Great. I should go back and watch that. That's something I'd like to
Yeah.
go back and watch.
Yeah, give it the full board watch. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
We started watching a show that we're about 4 episodes in and we're really hooked. Halt and Catch Fire.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Man, of course,
You're
they only
just
had
now-
4 seasons.
You're just now getting a halt. You're just now getting a halt.
Yeah.
See, I think
Yeah.
Halt and Catch Fire just gets better and better. I
Oh,
love
it's
that
so
show.
good.
Yeah,
Man, it's good.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we wanted to watch it because we started watching Foundation and we were just, Tress and I are both just obsessed with Lee Pace. And
Oh yeah, he's in.
he's the main guy. He's in Halt and Catch Fire, he's the real corporate guy.
The
who's
suave
trying to-
guy,
Yeah.
Suave. Yeah, yeah. But they're
He's
all so
a-
good. They're all so good in that show.
They're also good. That guy Scoot, whatever his name is, he's fantastic.
Oh, McNary. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we just started, I know it's been over for a long time, but we saw a list of like shows that never got an audience they deserved. And so we thought, well, we love Lee
Yeah.
Pace. Let's go back and watch this. And man, it got me. It got us, hooked us fast.
I loved it with commercials. That's how much I loved it.
Have you guys seen Reservation Dogs?
No, I heard that was good though.
Oh,
Was it
it's
good?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a couple episodes. We haven't got back to it yet, but we will. I'll have you know that I have. Of course, we burned through Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah. Ted Lasso.
I'm just trying to think of, like 8 months ago or 9 months ago, our last show.
Right.
What I hadn't seen yet.
Ted Lasso's great. What about? Have you guys seen Maid?
Yeah.
No, heard that was good. Is it
Oh, you
good?
should. Awesome.
Yeah.
And really just wonderful ending.
Yeah, I think
Maid.
I've mentioned before. I'm such a big fan of Margaret Qualley. Andy McDowell's daughter, and she was in The Leftovers and a little part, but significant in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's great. This is a big one for her.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I see. Yo, Maid. I got to see that. Yeah, I've heard that. I heard really good things about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word while it was right after it came out, they're all saying that Joe Manchin should watch that show.
Yeah.
It really points out just how it doesn't take much to get way behind in this society. Hey,
Yeah.
I can't figure out. I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to do a background on because I got my green screen walls and I can't find where to do my background anymore. Things have changed on Zoom. Oh, here it is. It's within my own box, which,
Yeah.
by the way, is the title of my next autobiography, my third autobiography.
Within my own box.
In my own box.
Yeah.
George Green. It's green.
We
Sort
are
of.
you guys watching Pen 15?
Yes, I have one episode to go.
We're watching the final season. It's so good. So
Yeah, but
good.
it's not the final. I don't know. It's so weird the way they. I'm like, oh wait, there's another one. There was the animated one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh cool,
Now
there's
there's that-
another Pen 15, and then I'm
They're
like,
doing
wait,
that one
there's
last short little season.
yeah, and then there's like a whole. But it's more than a short one. There's like I don't know. There's a bunch of them. It seems like every
8.
time I go on, I'm like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another Pen 15.
I think that show is incredible.
It
That's
really
one of the
is.
best things.
And I thought, when they ended it, the play, I thought that was a perfect ending, but they just kept going, and it's just as good. Not
Yeah.
like Dexter, but it's
The
awesome.
play was so good.
Yes.
It's really something when I found myself watching, what's her name? Because I just love her.
Maya or Anna, or
I'm
yeah.
watching Maya play a 14-year-old playing an adult
Right.
in the play, and how much pleasure there was in that sort of weirdness and that. Oh my God! I found myself actually going, "Wow, she's really good at playing an adult." And I'm like, "Yeah, because she is a
Right.
freaking adult."
Oh, there we go.
Lou, you watching the Pen 15 or not?
I'm not. We did one episode and Jen didn't like it, so I have to put it on the back burner until I get to it myself.
I started, Tressa can't watch Succession. It makes her nervous.
Oh, Succession, so good. Oh my
I know,
God.
I started watching it and it's so good. It's so
Oh.
good.
Oh, speaking of
I'm just in the middle of season 1. Oh, hi there, Pooch.
oh,
I'm just in the
I
middle of
won't
season 1.
I won't ruin it for you except for season 3. There's this scene with Greg and Tom, the husband, Greg and Tom.
They're my favorite pairing.
Somebody set it to the song from from Titanic. And
Yeah,
it's
so
the
too.
funniest thing I've ever seen. It's so like romantic. It's
Lou, from an actor's perspective, from your perspective as an actor, that guy who, am I wrong? That guy who plays Tom, he's killing it.
oh yeah, no, he is. They all are.
Yeah.
Because Brian Cox has always been one of my favorites. I know we've had this conversation before where he's my Hannibal Lecter more than Anthony Hopkins from Manhunter. He's so good in that and subtle and
Brian Cox is
quiet
good.
and great. But anyways, I've always loved Brian Cox, but the rest of that cast, Sarah Snook, but Karen Culkin just is killing me, and I know
Yeah.
Jeremy Strong's getting all the kudos. He's great, but yeah, Tom is pretty amazing.
He blows me away. That character is so slippery in so many ways.
Yep.
That actor is married to an actor in a British show that Tress and I started watching that we love called The Durrells in Corfu.
Oh, I don't know that. He's British, right? He is. Too.
Is he British?
No.
I don't know. She is. But
No, the Durrells are.
Yeah. Have you seen Durrells in Corfu?
I haven't watched it yet, but it's in my queue.
It's actually really lovely. It's a lovely show.
Yeah, it looks like it. So we got about 5 to 10 minutes left. So let's hurry it up, guys. No, I'm just trying to think of what we might have to go out and come back in, I guess.
Oh, because we got a time limit?
Because I don't pay for it anymore.
Got it.
Before I paid for it, so we got all the perks, whatever that means. I'd rather
We can always just break it up too. We can always just break it up.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured we'd
That's
do.
fine. Because we can come back and talk about movies. That'll split it up. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but you can't see it though. He's got a big turkey.
So do you wanna end and come back?
Sure. Now's as good a time as any, I suppose. Yeah. Do I have to? Oh no. You know what? We've got 6 minutes. So let's spend the remaining 6 minutes trying to figure out how. I just put out another invitation, right? I just start a meeting and send you guys a link. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll do that through Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I got it open.
Yeah. So whenever.
So yeah, Matthew McFadden is Tom, and he's British.
Man, he's awesome. I'm so impressed by him.
Yeah. Yeah, that last season was I don't know how they do it. They keep nailing it. Maybe they're only doing 1 or 2 more seasons. I don't know. They got to be painting themselves into a corner.
I heard that last season was something else. I'm only in the middle of the first season, so.
Yeah, no, I envy you. You've got a lot of good stuff there in front of you. I mean, it only gets better.
I think you got to watch it as a comedy though. Because if I watch it as a drama, I just get so sad. They're so awful. I have to like kind of watch it
you have to,
like a black comedy.
Yeah, no, you laugh. I laugh a lot when I'm watching it.
You guys still talking about Succession?
Yeah.
Yes.
HBO.
HBO, baby.
So Righteous Gemstones has started up again. If you're not watching it,
How's that? Is that good?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love it. I haven't started that new season yet, but God, I love it. Oh, you know what was great was Curb was great this year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Dude, Tracy
Kurt.
Ullman. I know you like Tracy Ullman.
I love
Curb
Tracy
Your
Ullman. I did
Enthusiasm.
watch one episode. And it looked really good.
Oh, she's great in this
Oh,
season.
the fourth episode is the funniest. It's so funny. It's so good. I
What
thought
happens in the fourth episode?
I'm like, who's Kurt? Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, Tracy Ullman is hilarious, and she's not even in the fourth episode.
Yeah, no,
But
she's
yeah,
great. And
solid
it has one of the best season-long setups just so they can tell a stupid joke in the last episode that's so funny. I can't even give it away, but George, maybe you know. But
I don't even remember enough to give it away, but I would give it away if I could.
the guest
Okay, I'm
star
gonna
in
go
the
back and
last
watch that.
episode.
I think
is-
it's when they kill Dexter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a great joke.
Like a pointy head. So yeah, Dexter. Let's talk
Oh,
about Dexter for a bit.
One more show that I've been enjoying is Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I hear that's good. I'm what's that on? It's on Showtime, right?
Showtime.
Which I'm about to let expire because I've seen the second series of geez, what's that called? I can never, all these phrases. Work in Progress, one of my favorite shows that no one's talking
Oh.
about.
I don't know.
Have
Maybe
you back in any?
I think I have Showtime for another month because the deal I got a deal too, right? So I could watch Dexter, and now when it expires, Showtime's out.
Oh, I heard
Right.
Work in Progress. I know about Work in Progress. I read about that.
Completely produced in Chicago. Abby McEnany's hilarious. She's so good. Lou, you might not like it because they're not all polished actors, but it's pretty incredible, actually.
Wait, did I just recommend Reservation Dogs? Was that me? Was that me that recommended that?
Is that kind
Yeah.
of rough?
Oh, I
around
love
the edges?
Tarantino. I love Tarantino. But didn't you see that when it came out, like decades ago?
Not Reservoir Dogs, Reservation Dogs.
Oh.
Brother. I'm just saying because of talk about not polished actors. Oh, and on top of it, we just started watching. I mean, we're only a couple episodes in, but we started watching As We See It. Have you heard about this show? So it's by the guy who created Parenthood, and he's
The show Parenthood or the movie Parenthood?
the show Parenthood.
Oh, okay.
And so he executive produced it. So he went deeper with because one of the kids was autistic on Parenthood. He goes deeper because he's I don't know if he has family that's autistic or whatever, but As We See It is about a group home with these autistic kids, and they're the counselor or whatever that takes care of them is played by Kevin Bacon and his wife. I can't think of her name. Their
Pierce
daughter.
Sedgwick?
Yeah, their daughter. But not the kid. I mean, they're all like 25, but all those actors are actually autistic.
That's good.
And they're great. It's a great show. We've only seen 2 so far, but it's really, really fun show.
That's really good.
Are we at 6 minutes yet?
So we're just closing in on a minute. I was just thinking, and I'm somewhere in season 11 on Bob's Burgers.
Oh yeah,
We're
I got to
trying-
catch up a little bit on those.
We're trying to make them last, savor them while we can.
Oh yeah.
Are you
That's
excited
true.
for the movie, Pat?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen the trailer yet. Oh yeah, I did see the trailer.
Is
But,
Jimmy Pesto going to be in it, or is he storming the Capitol?
Man, that was disappointing to find out. Jeez, Maurice. I remember him. I loved him on Mr. Show, and that was horrible to
Oh my
find
God,
out.
David Cross was on. I almost said Letterman was on Colbert the other night, and it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a
I
long
just
time.
watched it with the sweater.
Yeah, just the whole thing, and they eventually end up switching seats and going into the audience and stealing people's glasses, and I mean, I was laughing out loud.
Yeah.
That's
Cross
how
is
funny it
amazing.
was.
I love Cross.
Yeah.
Cross is funny. Oh, that reminds me. He did a couple episodes of Station 11. Did you guys watch that?
No, how was that?
I think
When
So,
did I even hear that?
Hi everyone, welcome to Mediadawgs. I'm your host George Green here with Lou and Pat. 45 minutes of fun ahead of you. Anybody seen Dexter? No, just kidding.
No, it was like, no, it's like you go into the theme song. We did a 45-minute intro for the show, and then you hit the theme.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of, getting back to Mediadawgs 2000, I thought the other day that there's a reason why we shouldn't call it that, but I can't remember why. So if anybody out there in television land has any ideas for an old guy, because I just turned 60 last year. I'm welcome. I'm open to ideas about how to make my memory better. Yeah, what were you guys are right in the middle of something.
We're talking about Station 11. So
right.
Which is on HBO. And so, it's the flu virus, end of the world pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to see right now.
Well, yeah, right. Perfect timing. But it's funny because so half of the show takes place just prior to the flu hitting up to a year later. And the other half of the show takes place 20 years, they call it year 20 because it's, 20 years after it hit. Anyhow, it's funny because I read a review recently in the LA Times, and they had the two TV critics battle it out for their feelings on the show. And one of them, I'm in complete sync with. Half of the show, the stuff that's, just prior and 1 year in, is as good as it gets. It's so good. The other 5 episodes all take place 20 years in, and it's just not compelling at all. And the woman that plays so she's a girl, she's like 9 years old when it hits. And so then, 20 years later, the character's 30. And the woman, the actress that plays that role is as interesting as Taylor Schilling, that woman that was the lead in Orange is the New Black, who just bored the snot out of me on that show and made it, really ultimately Orange is the New Black. I stopped watching because I just couldn't take it anymore. But
never got past the first episode of that.
Yeah, it's just that same thing where it's just like, it's not, the story isn't compelling enough. There's little things in it that are kind of cool, but not her. And there is a little bit of crossover. Like there's an episode maybe where they kind of cross over the 1 year in and 20 years in, but really it was great. Like if you read the LA Times little back and forth review with the two critics, the dude was right on. Those 5 episodes are fantastic, and the rest, not so much.
Yeah, I'm having a hard enough time with the price of my Tribune going up so much, and
yeah,
I'm not sure I'll be able to catch the LA Times.
LA Times, the Los Angeles Times. But anyways, it's funny because we had our little momentary break here. I remembered too that I just got Disney, so I watched WandaVision, which I loved. Did you guys see WandaVision?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I didn't like the ending a lot, but
it turned into a Marvel. It turned into a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how she defeated Agatha. I was kind of bummed that Agatha was bad because I love her character. As a kid, I loved Agatha Harkness in Fantastic Four. But Tressa hit it on the head. That show could have been a whole lot better I loved it up into the last episode. And I thought the reveal with that song was so great. How they used like a Munsters Atom Family song to introduce her. Fantastic. Just, I was like laughing my head off just out of happiness, just like, oh my God, it's so great. But the part that really bugged me at the end, Lou, was, and George, was Monica looks at Wanda, and Wanda says, they all hate me. And Monica says, they have no idea what you gave up. And Wanda goes, I know. And I'm like, wait a second. You just tortured them for months. They have every reason to hate you. Going
Yeah.
through grief doesn't give you the excuse to destroy other people's lives. And it would have been so much better. Tressa goes, she should have turned to Monica and said, they have every reason to hate me. Boom, take responsibility. You know, but that really bummed me out.
Yeah.
Did you love her as Agatha Harkness? So,
Oh, well, they're going to spin her off. They're going to give her her own show. They
did
already
you see
said.
the other show she was in? Mrs.
Doubtfire.
Oh,
No.
Um,
Let me look it up.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She was in, it was a great show. Mrs. Fletcher.
Oh, that
Highly recommend that. It's only like 4 episodes. Highly
in that?
recommend that.
Oh, I remember she was in. We started watching The Shrink Next Door. She was in that, but that I
Oh,
didn't
she
like
is.
at all. Got talk about bad acting. Oh,
who are you
Drink
guys
Next Door
talking
is
about?
bad.
Catherine Hahn.
Oh, did you say that yet? Were you
No.
talking? Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
I did.
couldn't think of her name.
Was it
but
Mrs.
Mrs.
Fletcher?
Fletcher. She's brilliant in Mrs. Fletcher.
Oh, I
She's
couldn't stand that
fantastic.
show. And
Really, why not?
I don't know. I was ready to love it because I've always loved her. And I don't know. There was just something that didn't ring true for me in that. It just,
Got it.
I don't know. You know, sometimes it happens. You know, there's stuff I love that people are like, how can you like that? I don't know.
Oh, of course.
Just do. Yeah. So how can you like that, Pat? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I watched the whole thing. Was it only 4? It seemed like 11 or 23.
No, I think it
72.
was-
Mrs. Fletcher is 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7.
It seemed like more than it was for me.
Yeah.
I liked Hawkeye.
Oh, that's what I'm going to watch next is Hawkeye. So I'm a season or so into Mandalorian, but I think it's boring the snot out of me.
I liked Mandalorian.
I know a
don't
lot
if
of
I
people
loved it.
liked it, and I've just.
I have trouble remembering a lot of it, which makes me wonder, like, because I watched it, I enjoyed it, but then it was kind of gone.
Yeah, that's sort of how it's sitting with me at this point. But I'm struggling to move forward. But I'll start watching Hawkeye. I heard Hawkeye's really good, and I want to watch Loki.
Loki's pretty good. I thought Loki was good. Of course, I love Tom Hiddleston. Hawkeye, they brought in Matt Fraction as a producer, and they based a lot of it on when he was writing Hawkeye, which is one of my favorite comics ever. And they were able to fix some things that were wrong with Hawkeye in the series, in the Avengers movies, make him a little more interesting.
That's
But it's still not as cool as he is in the comic. I mean, Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, read that. That is like the best.
I only like about 3/4 of his stuff.
Matt Fraction? I get it. That's very good.
Matt Fraction could eat no math. His wife could eat no film study.
Then I have to mention this just 'cause I haven't been able to watch it yet because of my personal loss, but the 3rd season of Afterlife just dropped, and I can't wait to see that. I don't know if you guys have watched it yet, but
I watched some episodes, thought it was great.
so
I don't know why I didn't watch more, but I really liked it.
I love Afterlife, but just the 3rd season just came on Netflix and about a week ago.
He wraps it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He kills Dexter at the end.
Perfect.
Right here.
Everybody. That's what everybody's season finale is going to be.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
That would make my pandemic.
That'd make me change my feelings on Dexter New Blood if everybody joined it.
I'm thinking, I have to kind of pick and choose. And right now I've got way too many streaming services than I should have. But the 99-cent offers are too much for me to say no to. But I did finally, as you know, since I watched Ted Lasso, I've gotten around to getting the Apple Plus.
Yeah.
And there's a sitcom, I'm pretty sure it's on Apple Plus, called Trying. If you like English sitcoms.
I watched an episode, liked it a lot.
I liked it. Yeah.
Oh,
Tressa didn't like it, so we didn't watch it, but I liked it. I thought it was really good.
So, can you tell me? I haven't looked it up yet. The guy's last name is Spall. Is it Timothy Spall's kid? Is it Rafe Spall? No, I can't remember.
Let me look him up.
Yeah, you guys
Got
look
him
it
right
up.
here.
Yeah.
It's
Rafe
internet.
Spall.
Yeah, I have Apple Plus for another week or so. So I haven't watched the
You better watch it.
Tragedy of Macbeth yet, but
Ooh, I like that.
I think I'm gonna get
Right.
I'm gonna get it for free. I haven't looked to see what I've got on my for the SAG Awards, but I'm
Well,
pretty
it's
sure.
only $4.95. So I'm like, I've got, I don't know. I'm sure I mentioned this before. So iTunes doesn't have my credit card. I just go out and buy credit so that I don't overspend because iTunes, it's easy to buy a lot of music on a Friday night after you've had a couple of glasses of wine, if you know what I mean.
He is
And so-
Timothy Spall's son, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, good to know. I kind of thought so, but Timothy Spall's got kind of a look,
yeah.
and I'm not saying he's not a handsome man, but this guy,
Not,
guy isn't. Well, it all depends if you're Mrs. Spall or whatever, Mr. Spall. I'm not judging.
Great actor.
Yes. Which makes me want to see Secrets and Lies again.
oh yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie. I'd like to see that movie.
Pat.
The Lies, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one to see.
That can go up there for you. Yeah.
Speaking of, I've also got Career Girls on my DVR that I think I got that off of Classics. That
I am very behind in that guy's filmography.
There's a lot of them out there. It's Jim Jarmusch's birthday today, by the way. Speaking of, guys from that time that we were really into indie film.
Right.
Old indie film.
Reminds me of that guy was at Independent Jones. Aren't they making another Independent Jones film? He crashed by you recently, Lou? The Harrison Fjord. Sorry, I'm in a wacky mood today.
Oh, has Harrison Ford cracked? No, I think he's busy breaking his own bones, finishing that Indiana Jones finale.
Independent Jones.
So not interested in that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that I feel about the Star Wars stuff.
Well, I'm damn it, Janet, I'm holding out hope because it's the dude that did Logan. Logan was fantastic.
Meatloaf just died, and you just said, "Damn it, Janet."
That's the only way I'm going to honor him. Speaking of also Louis Anderson. Oh my God, Louis Anderson. Oh.
Was he not fantastic in Baskets?
Oh, it was revelatory. That
it was incredible.
Yeah, no, that he was so. Yep.
That was amazing to see him transform like that. I know this is cliche to say this, but I would watch that. I would completely forget I was watching Louis Anderson, much less a man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was completely. Yeah, he was as real in that as anybody's been in anything, and in theory, on paper, I guess maybe it doesn't seem like that would be the case, but yeah, he was so good. I also tell people at this point, like, people that don't know Louis, just watch his first appearance on the Tonight Show. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, great! Is it great?
Routine, oh Lord, that routine is priceless. And then he was, and I told my Tupac story, but that's who we were seeing in Las Vegas the night that Tupac got shot.
Ooh.
We were watching Louis at Bally's, which life with.
You were in Vegas when Tupac got shot? I forgot that.
Yeah, didn't I ever tell? We were at the Tyson fight, right? Where probably the guys that shot Tupac were hanging out, and then I figured
get the guy's ear off.
No, but it was.
I was at the House of Blues that night.
You were in big news. Did you watch it there at the House of Blues? Were they showing it?
Yeah, I went to the House of Blues to watch a TV show. No, I was seeing a band.
Pay-per-view at places like that.
First of all, does it seem like I would watch a fight
not at all.
Especially
Well,
Mike Tyson.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's the only fight that I ever saw in pro because I won a trip from Chicago radio station to go see Tyson fight.
Was
We
it
knew
WLS?
it was
AM radio?
no, the score. It was the score.
Oh, the score.
Yeah. So we knew that Tyson that he was fighting a tomato can, and so I was like, this fight's gonna last less than a minute. So figure out when he's going into the ring, and then Louis was like a half hour after the fight starts. So I bought tickets to see Louis. So of course the fight was one punch. He knocked the guy out.
No.
Yeah, and the guy fell the wrong way too. So it wasn't even like the guy was, maybe he laid down. But anyways, it was one punch. We take off out the back of MGM because there's a tram to Bally's. And then so we go out back, get on the tram, go to Bally's, see Louis, get back to our hotel room that night. And it turned out if it had gone out front, that's where Tupac got shot.
Holy hell.
That night. So yeah, that's my Tupac
Wow.
story.
So another good, I thought, good sitcom. I don't even know what it's on. I think it might be on HBO Max. Is Feel Good. The Canadian comedian, and there's this woman who plays her love interest that I always forget her name, but she's an English actor, and she's been in like all sorts of things. Like she's been in Siblings. If you've never seen that, check that out. It's about these two really dumb, this brother and this sister who are really dumb, and they always, find themselves in like a really good situation, and then of course they always blow it.
What's that show called?
Siblings. But the other one's called Feel Good. And strangely enough, I've been noticing this. Lisa Kudrow plays her mother.
Yeah, I'm looking at that, and yeah, I see that.
All these people who play like Work in Progress, Julia Sweeney's in that. And I know we talked about this because she plays, her husband is Weird Al Yankovic, which is not true in real life, and yet it's true within this universe of Abby McEnany's Chicago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I'm just flashing this pen. It's my I get, every time I go to my dentist, I get this free pen because they don't want to wash the pens.
Oh, nice.
But believe me, you pay for it. She's not in network, so it's like, precious pen. Anyway, I don't know why it's doing. It must be
because of that background. Yeah, when you have a background in there, it does that.
So yeah, if anybody knows of a good dentist that's in network,
what network do you have?
Blue Cross Blue Shield, and she's I don't know what she is. She's I'll get like Delta Dental is what it is actually, and I'll get like a little check for like, they'll be like, well, here, go buy some candied cigarettes or something. It's like $30, for like $1,000 bill.
Our dentist just left network, and it's impossible to find a new dentist. I hate it.
I would highly recommend Ray Martinez in Grays
Where's he at?
Grays Lake.
Okay.
He's great. I love him.
Plus, they do a lot of script. Can I talk about script lately? I'm getting really tired of script. When I call like, I don't know, AT&T or Capital One, they've got all these great scripts that basically tell me to go F myself.
Like what?
Sorry, we're not going to help you. No, it's just you ask a question and you get like a half an hour of, well, thank you for asking that question. That's a really good question, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. We could make this a lot better for all of us if you just stop with the script. And sometimes they say they're not doing the script, but they've got a script for that too.
Yeah, I'm sure
anyway,
they do.
My dentist's office does that. They talk in script, and it's like, so she's got a great hygienist who doesn't talk in script, which is why I've stayed with her so far.
Oh, I love my hygienist. I love her.
Martinez, eh?
Martinez.
Ray
Martinez, Rerey. It's
which brings us right back to Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Rey. So yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The only good Star Wars movie and the best one, I think, was that Rogue. What is it, Rogue 9 or Rogue One?
I
Or
liked Rogue One.
yeah, I thought it was great. What a
I
great
thought that was
movie.
probably the best one. You're right.
Yeah. In fact, if anybody wants some Blu-rays of the original 3 from the 70s and 80s, I'm gonna throw it on the curb or something because it's taking up too much room in my house, in my psyche. The New Hope and what's the
Empire
Revenge of
Strikes
the
Back. Oh, I still love the originals, but everything else is just tried.
bad acting.
I love the first two. I love New Hope and Empire. Then
Yeah.
after that, I'm kind of iffy.
Well, half of Return is good movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge,
I
yeah.
should have been.
While it was Revenge of the Jedi, it was good. Then when it became Return,
I'm
You know, I
kind
had
of one of the weird guys too. I didn't mind Last Jedi. I thought Last Jedi was pretty good.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I saw it. Well, I'm sure I saw it because I've seen them all. I don't know which one that
Fantastic.
was, but you know, when I was going to Illinois State in 1982, my neighbor in the dorm had a poster for Revenge of the Jedi, and I hope he still has it.
Wow.
yeah, that, yeah, I
That'd be
remember.
worth, that'd be worth some money.
Oh yeah, I had posters for like Tom Petty and Joni Mitchell, so they're probably not worth as much because you know they didn't change their names or their titles.
Joni Mitchell Smith, Joni, I don't know.
Joni Stratford, because it's right by Mitchell in Ontario, Southwest Ontario.
Nice.
The original one-sheet teaser, original poster on eBay goes for $1,400.
Oh, I am Facebook friends with him. I think I'll let him know that. I hope he's still got it.
$1,400.
I'd sell it for 1,400.
Yeah.
I'd throw in an Ewok too.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the Ewoks.
And if it's signed by Robert Downey Jr., it's 1,500.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of somebody in the genre that makes no sense to have a
Leonard Nimoy. It's signed by Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy. There we go. Yep, that's better.
Oh, I'm watching Discovery. In fact, I was very excited to get for the 4th season of Discovery to get 99-cent whatever it's on. Paramount? Is it on Paramount?
Yeah.
What else is on Paramount? Because it's like all of a sudden they stopped running them for a month and a half or something. It's like, wait, I can't keep going with this.
There's a show on Paramount that I love. I didn't think I would love it because it looked like a bad CBS show, but Evil. It's fantastic.
Evil? Oh, plus the British version of Ghosts is pretty good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, it looks a lot. I saw bits of the American version, and the American version looks kind of awful.
I stopped watching Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, how come?
I don't know. It just
Racist?
no, it's just not very good.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. I like Saru, and it's getting a little.
I like Saru. I like Saru a lot. I think they didn't handle Michael's character very well at all. I mean, every time I watch an episode, she has to cry and.
Oh, we talked about this. When did you drop then?
I stopped watching probably like 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do kind of they vacillate between action and melodrama in that show. I noticed there's a lot of.
I don't mind melodrama. I just feel like
Oh.
I hate to use this term, but I think she's a bit of a Mary Sue in some ways. I think it's.
I don't know. Is that like a Karen? I don't know. I don't know that.
No, a Mary Sue is, and people like fight about if this is a real thing or not, but it's when
Missouri thing?
Huh?
Is that a Missouri thing?
Oh, no. It was.
Sorry.
The term actually came out of a famous website. Came from a. Oh shoot! I forget who. It's when and people argue about this, but it's when they take a female hero, and because they're worried that they have a female hero, they make her perfect.
Right.
And she's always good, and she makes all the right choices, and they don't let her be flawed human. Now, people have argued, well, that describes 99% of all male heroes. They're perfect. They're always right. So I don't know about that. But after a while, I liked the first couple episodes first couple seasons where she was conflicted and she had done some kind of crappy things and she was trying to fight back. And then she just became like the savior of the universe all the time. And I just was like, why does it always have to revolve around her?
Michael, savior of the universe.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I
And
haven't,
I love that
haven't
actress. I
watched,
think she's awesome. I think she's awesome, but the writing's bad for her, I think.
I haven't watched Discovery, but Picard was not good.
Yeah, it was boring.
The ending was so bad.
I don't
Stupid.
remember the ending.
The
Did he
ending was
die?
so
Did Dexter shoot him?
shady.
Well, Dexter died, but Picard is
Oh.
gonna live. Yeah.
You know, they didn't even put out any plastic either when they shot Dexter. No plastic,
Yeah,
which I guess is better for the environment.
sure. That's the big change will be coming in season 2. Harrison, new blood.
Is there gonna be a season 2?
No.
Because it seems to me like he's just the normal kid.
Oh, it was a big hit. Yeah, of course there will be.
No. So the other thing with what was that? Who is that woman? I gotta look her up. You guys chat. You know, I looked up African films and Out of Africa's on here.
That's crazy.
And the Legend of Tarzan and Call
That's
Me
what we need.
Moana.
All white people, African films with all
Yeah,
white.
but with all white people.
So I really liked Foundation on Apple.
Oh, I want to see that. I read Foundation when I was in high school, and I was like,
I never did. I wish I had, but
Well,
but
I
yeah, I
don't
thought
know.
that show was good. I thought that show was good.
Oh my God, I'm
It has
afraid that
Jared Harris in it too, who I love. I love Jared Harris.
Oh, I didn't watch Foundation. I was for a second there. I was scared. I watched it and I forgot it, but I didn't. I remember seeing the preview for it. Oh, you only like Pat. You only like it because Lee Pace is in it.
Lee Pace is in it, and he shows his chest, and it's quite impressive.
now who's this guy? Who's Lee Pace?
At one point, he's almost naked, and I have to say, I just went,
I'm trying to keep pace with you guys.
"Oh my God!"
So Lee Pace, I really only know
Feels like a
him from
perfect-
Pushing Daisies, which is great, and I love Pushing Daisies. But
Charlotte Ritchie, that's her name. She's in Siblings. She's in Feel Good. She's in the British version of Ghosts. She's delightful. Charlotte Ritchie.
did you guys see any movies last year?
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. I'm not sure. I just want to say I'm not sure if I agree with the whole Mary Sue idea. I'm reading about it. I can see what people are saying. I don't know if I like using that term, but anyway, I did see some movies.
Did you see? Let's start with the #1 box office hit, Spider-Man.
No.
I did.
What'd you think, Pat?
I thought it was pretty good.
Wait,
That
where'd you
was
see
all
it? Did you go to the movie
Huh?
theater? Did you go to the
Yeah.
movie theater?
Yeah,
Yeah, we've been going to the movie theaters.
I'm not ready.
us too. We've been going.
I liked it. I thought, did you like it, Lou?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done an analysis yet, but I would probably say it's the best of all the. I mean, I would put it in there with the first 2 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
Sure. It
and
was
which
really
makes it better
wonderful.
than. Pardon?
Oh, no, better than what? Go ahead.
Which makes it better than the whole Marvel canon to me, right? Because it's like I'm, old. Here's the old guy. The 2 Michael Keaton Batmans, the first 2 Chris Reeves Superman, the 2, especially Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. That was it for me. Other than because the Marvel movies are, for the most part, they're very, very entertaining. And for the most part, they all run together for me. There's a couple I can pull out and say, I like this one better than that. But this new Spider-Man movie is the first one that I truly loved. I thought it was great.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I haven't seen it.
But okay, I won't say anything then. But
We got 10 minutes.
I love the interaction between some of the characters.
Yeah.
When you get all of them together, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great.
I have to say,
It fixed.
oh, go ahead.
It fixed the things that I hated about Toby's first Spider-Man, because there was a little bit that I hated at the end there, and they fixed it, which was amazing.
Amazing.
Just it was really, everybody
It's
was
really good.
Alfred
I thought it was
Molina
good.
was great, and Willem Dafoe was great. It wasn't like fan service stuff, right? Where they just had cameos. It was legit part of the story. And I
Yeah.
love-
You're right. You're right. Did you guys see West Side Story?
Not yet. I really wanted to see it in the theater too, and I haven't
We went
gone.
twice.
Wow, it's amazing, right? They say.
I loved it. I thought
Is it-
when I thought he was going to do that, I thought this is hubris. This is hubris.
Yeah.
He makes it better. It's a better film than the 1960 version.
Is it available for streaming? For
I don't know.
I don't
On
think
demand?
it is quite yet, maybe.
I did see Schmigadoon, so I feel like I've seen that.
I
That
like
woman-
Schmigadoon.
I love
Oh.
Schmigadoon.
She's awesome in this too. She is an amazing Anita.
Yeah, her
But I thought
SNL was
everybody-
okay, but yeah, that's what I hear. And
Um,
great in Schmigadoon.
I love
What
Schmigadoon.
about just one more? I think just one more, only in the theater. Sorry, George, but what about Licorice Pizza? Did you see that?
We might go see that tonight. It's playing at the Renaissance. We were thinking about going to see that tonight.
Licorice Pizza was my favorite movie of the year.
Okay, good. Then we'll go see it. We saw
Yeah.
Parallel Mothers last night.
Almodovar.
Yeah, that's really good. Power of the Dog was fantastic.
That's what I was gonna get to next was, yeah, because these are streaming. So George, did you see Power of the Dog was fantastic.
Yeah, I like Power of the Dog. If you get
Great
a
on a big
chance.
screen too. Great on big screen.
Oh yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm not about to go into a movie theater yet, especially with
Right.
Omicron still going on. You guys are crazy. If you get a chance, Mark Maron,
Yeah,
WTF podcast, the Cumberbatch interview is all over the place and wonderful and hilarious. Very
He's so
animated,
good.
very animated. Didn't expect that out of him. And then the Jesse
Plemons. I listened to the Jesse Plemons one.
also
Jesse
pretty
Plemons.
also pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesse Plemons just he knocks everything out of the park. It's incredible with that.
And I had no idea he was married to Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Kirsten Dunst, how great was see her come back and have such a great role.
yeah. No, that movie was, to me, for my money, that was the best Benedict Cumberbatch performance, It
That
was-
makes
My dogs couldn't figure out where the dog was though.
yeah, no,
Where's the dog? Where's this dog?
my dogs hated it. I don't see it. I don't get it. The other one on Netflix is The Lost Daughter with Olivia Colman.
Oh, I heard that was really good too.
Oh my God, that's fantastic too.
That's
Have you seen
hilarious.
I want to see Passing too. I heard Passing was really good. I love that novel.
So The Lost Daughter, though, by the way, based on a Ferrante novel. And I just found out that Ferrante is just a pen name for someone who I don't even, which is kind of weird because I read a couple of the My Brilliant Friends, which HBO and RAI brought over, with Paolo Sorrentino as the showrunner and anyway, full circle, kind of half moon circle, kind of isosceles triangle. What's the name of that? Oh, The Hand of God, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was fantastic, but I think you have to be kind of in a Sorrentino state of mind to like love his stuff now. But the most amazing thing, and now I've got to go back and watch it, is that it's set in Naples in the 70s, and at one point they're out on a boat in the Mediterranean in the I think it's the Bay of Salerno, for you keeping track at home. And there's I don't know if I can show this or not. Anyway, my tattoo is a formation that I see when I'm swimming in my favorite place in in Italy, and there it is in the background. So it's like
Wow.
I gotta watch it again because I'm like, oh.
That's neat.
So,
That's neat.
so that's up for, I think that's Italy's. That's Italy. It made how many do we have now? 5 or 11 now of foreign film or foreign language film. Excuse me. Well, we're gonna get the letters. That's Italy's submission, and it's on Netflix. And but I think it's gonna be. I think it's what is that? Drive My Car.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's what I like. Wipe every. Well, from what I hear, I don't know where to access it. That's the trouble. Sometimes I have a hard time finding where I can find it. I think the last video on demand I did was last night in Soho.
How was
This is
that?
Edgar Wright's most recent one. I loved it. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan.
George, I loved it too. I loved it.
Oh,
I
okay,
thought it
I'll
was
watch
great.
it then. I heard it was bad, so I avoided it.
Yeah,
So
no,
much
there
so
are
that-
people that didn't like it, but I thought it was, I thought it was great. And I'm not I love Edgar Wright, I guess, but I'm not an apologist for him. And I thought it was really good.
I just got it
I
from
thought Baby Driver was flawed. I liked Baby Driver, but I thought it was deeply flawed.
Diana Rigg was great. That was her last movie last night in Soho.
Oh,
I love her. But
I saw,
that was cool. What about Pig? Did you guys see Pig?
thought Pig was great.
Babe. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, Babe and the Pig. Pig and the Babe.
Why isn't that getting more buzzed? I
I
think.
don't know.
I thought Nick Cage might even get an Oscar nomination for that. I thought he was that good in it.
Nick Cage is, ever since he had the tax problems, he just started doing every film that I guess he was being given $1 million for or whatever. And so, but I love Nick Cage so much that I'm always like, come on, man, there's got to be something good in here, And then he did that movie, I think it's called Wally's Wonderland, which
Yeah.
was actually a stupid little horror film that was kind of fun.
My
And then,
favorite Pixar.
Pardon?
That's my favorite Pixar. Wally's.
Is that right? Wally's Wonderland.
Wally starring Nicolas Cage.
And then
Well, I think the thing about Pig is maybe it's because the poster makes it look, well, he looks like a Nick Nolte mugshot.
You know what it is? It's John Wick. If you took all the violence out of John Wick, 90% of the violence away from John Wick, and made it about chefs instead of assassins.
yeah, that's what it is. But it's great. Nick
Great.
Cage is great. He's
Well,
great.
speaking of John
You just
Wick,
never know where it's going to do, where it's going to go, or what it's going to do. It's always surprising you. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I loved it.
we did watch
Um,
what's that, Fourth Matrix.
Oh, you
I
did.
did too.
I don't remember anything about it, but it was,
Oh, I
aren't they
forgot
all
I've
bad
seen
except
that.
for the first one? I don't
Yeah.
remember the second two or the second and third. I
I
don't
think
even
I made
remember.
it halfway through the second one. That was as far as I made it.
That last Matrix movies, that is a lesson in how not to tell a story.
The
The new
Resurrection.
the one before it.
It's amateurish. I wanted to walk out. I literally wanted to walk out. It was
You went to
awful.
the movie theater to see it?
Yeah. Well, my
Oh,
wife, Tress, is a huge Matrix fan.
What'd she think of it?
She did not like
I
it.
just caught it on HBO Max. You didn't
not
take
like
her? What?
No, she did not like it.
Oh, okay.
No. I tell you, a kind of awful movie that we went and saw in the theater that I loved was *Malignant*.
Oh, I haven't watched that. There was
That Disney thing?
No,
yeah.
it's a horror film. I told my sister to watch it on streaming, and she goes, "That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen." I was like, "Yeah," but the way I described *Malignant* is it's like you're at an opera, and it's really bad, and the singers are bad, and they double down and just sing louder, and then start firing T-shirts at you with a T-shirt cannon. That's what *Malignant* is like. We're finally just go, well, why not?
And by the way,
It's
we're
like
about
you just go. Well, go on, sorry, go ahead.
we're about to get cut off. So yeah, you want to come back? All right. We're all out of the waiting room.
Yep.
Anybody see that movie, The Waiting Room? It's about people during the pandemic in Zoom. So here's the thing with the Zoom. It costs like, I don't know, I paid like over $100 for, so that we could just keep going and going and going. And I'm not prepared to do that anymore. And I'm not asking you guys to do it. So what else do you want to talk about? And I'm happy to talk about personal stuff. I don't get out a lot. So
Well, no, I was just gonna. I think we kind of ran through the movies. I mean, another movie I really liked was Here Today, that Billy Crystal, Tiffany Haddish movie.
well, that looks horrible.
Yeah, it should be, and I'm not a big fan of hers, but she was fine. She was, but it was Alan Zweibel, who I really like, and he wrote it, and I don't know.
It's not flying off the shelf at the library. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But it was good Billy Crystal. Like it was the most I enjoyed Billy in a long time in anything. Oh, have you seen the? I think like last time we were together, I think they had just announced that Michael Keaton was going to join the DC universe. So that preview for the Flash with Keaton in it is just like everything to me. I'm sure, I can't believe that the movie's going to be any good, but man, seeing him in that preview.
I'm hoping that they'll flip that around then and make a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, for sure, right? Could they
Keep him in that older Batman role and then bring in, please.
They said he's going to be on the Batgirl TV series too. So I mean, he's in the universe now. So let's get a standalone or a movie where he's Batman, right?
We should have Nicholson come back as the Joker, and then we could have that other guy who plays the Joker, and they could be like Joker and fake Joker, and they could like have
there you go,
like a thing.
Joker multiverse.
And I mean a fight, not a kissy thing. Although the kissy
yeah,
thing.
no, that did look like a kissy thing. What about the? I'm not sold on.
Are we talking about movies still or not? Because
yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say the Batman, the new Batman movie with Pattinson, the preview for it, just I don't know, man. And now they get announced it's gonna be 3 hours long. I mean,
I'm all in on that. I like Pattinson. Yeah. I like the idea. I've really come to like him as an actor. So.
Okay. I don't know.
It's gonna be long.
Yeah. It's just I don't know what they're planning on. It's not 2021 movie, but Lily and I went to see Scream.
Oh yes, we did too.
What'd you think?
Thought it was good.
You mean the new one?
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. What do you think?
It's just called Scream, so I can't call it Scream New Blood or anything.
I didn't like the first one. I thought it was boring.
Oh, I love the
original Scream. Yeah. You didn't like?
Oh, I love the first one.
It.
I like scary movies to be scary or funny scary, but I didn't think it hit on any of those cylinders. I hate being bored in a horror movie, and Pat will back me up on that. We went to see that one with the guy. The only scary thing was the guy in the rearview mirror on the bike. I think it was. I can't remember. We saw it at the Gurney Cinema. Right?
The John Carpenter film. I like that movie.
Oh,
Mouth of Madness.
Mouth of Madness. In the Mouth of Madness.
I'm a hard sell with horror.
Well, I remember being a little disappointed. I tried to revisit that once, and I don't know.
I'd rather just take out Cemetery Man, I thought that Don't Look Up was a good horror film, actually, with a lot of humor in it.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that too. But Lily and I rewatched the original Scream after we saw the new one, and that scene at the end is like fantastically funny.
Yeah.
Of the original Scream.
Or the original
Scream. Yeah.
In terms of horror films, it's not perfect, but The Night House is pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know that. The Night House.
Yeah, The Night House. It's a neat idea. It was neat. I liked it. There's a bunch of horror I want to see, but Tressa has a hard time with like really depressing horror, and a lot of it's pretty darn depressing.
Yeah.
Speaking of night, I saw The Green Knight.
Oh, I love Green Knight.
Yeah, I did too. I was really tired, and it still held my interest. And I'm not sure why. It's kind of a slow goer. There's not a lot of movement.
Well, visually.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Great. Yeah.
And I love Dev.
Patel.
Yeah.
Did you like the version of David Copperfield that he's in?
Yes, I loved it.
I did too.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
But I thought Green Knight was fantastic. Thought
I,
about it.
neither, I actually took Anthony to see that one, and neither one of us liked it. I didn't like it at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, was really disappointed.
I thought the Tragedy of Macbeth was really great.
Yeah, I want to
Watch
see. I
black
was
and white
gonna,
movies.
I was gonna watch it last night, but I would have had to log in to Apple TV for some reason. My login was out, and I hate trying to remember my password, so I blew it.
I'm watching a horror series on Netflix called Archive 81. That's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, I hear that's good. You like it?
That's good. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's
Okay.
very interesting. I like that a lot. I'm trying to think what else we're watching.
Did you watch the Golden Globes? Speaking of horror,
No.
it wasn't on. It was they didn't.
Yeah, they
were
just
start-
released the winners, right?
I don't know. Did so they didn't have it on TV. They didn't. They invited a bunch of people and nobody showed up, and or nobody responded. I guess nobody responded. Sibu played, and yeah. How sad is that whole thing? I mean, how sad has it always been without Ricky Gervais? I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, the HBO thing. Now I can't think of it. See his latest series. It's really good. Even the third series is really good.
Okay.
After
What about Dune? Did you guys watch Dune?
Not yet. I still have to watch the first one.
Oh, it's still the first. Oh, you haven't watched the David
One
Lynch
of the
one?
few David Lynch movies I haven't seen.
You don't need to watch it.
Oh, but I want to.
Yeah, no, it's the only. It's yeah, one of the. Maybe the only David Lynch film I haven't seen is the original.
It's on my DVR.
Yeah, he's kind of disowned it himself, saying something went wrong with that movie, he said. So, did you see about the idiots who bought the NFT, thinking it would give them the rights to the whole Dune franchise?
You know what? You could have just stopped. Did you hear about the idiots who bought the NFT?
They
Yeah.
bought an NFT of the Jabowski book with his sketches on Dune for $2 million when it was valued at $25,000. And they said, now we control the Dune franchise, and then like they very quickly were told, no. In fact, they get this. They said, we're going to take this book and burn it so that now we own the rights to all this. And somebody said, you know, there are about 25 other copies of this book and it's been put online. The whole book has been put online already.
So I don't think it's a generational thing. I mean, these NFTs seem kind of ridiculous. Am I just
yeah.
my age? Okay, good. I mean, there's young people that think that too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
Because I mean, okay, never mind. I'm just an old fool. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
What about? Did you guys see the White Lotus?
No, how was that?
Oh, the series, yeah. Right?
I loved it. It's really, yeah.
Anything Mike White does, I'm right there.
Yeah, it really gets under your skin, and it's Jennifer Coolidge is fantastic, and Murray.
I love her.
Is who I'd probably seen him and stuff before, but nothing like what he does here. It just was it was an odd, but yeah, you're right. It kind of comes back to Mike White, George. It's just
It really does.
he's just off, like a little bit off. And slightly off kilter, and it's how the series played for me, which was it was great, I thought.
Yeah, and I'm sure he must have a lot to do with casting too, because he nails it with.
Yeah, they were all spot on perfect. I mean, speaking of people that none of them you should have liked at all, but
I think we're about to watch, and I want to bring this up before we get the 10-minute mark, or the 10-minute warning. We have not started it, strangely enough, because there's been so much else on, but The Expanse, I still think is one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, it's good.
And its final season is, it's on now. I think it's all up now. So if you get a chance, you people back in TV land, watch The Expanse. It's one of the best science fiction I think I've seen in a long time.
Nice hard sci-fi.
Yeah, it really worked, and the characters are great, and the acting's great. Yeah, your meeting will end in 10 minutes. Contact your IT team to upgrade to Zoom Pro for unlimited group meeting minutes.
I better get going anyway. I gotta go get some lunch and then
Yes.
some other work done.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of this is just us catching up, which I love. I
Sure.
love. So,
That was
Yeah,
amazing.
I'll watch The Expanse. That's funny. I haven't, for some reason, I haven't done that, but I need a show to watch now.
I wish I could watch The Expanse for the first time. It's detailed, and it's for me, it's like, what's that guy's name again? I love him. Or what's I mean, it's really detailed, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful the way it just
Yeah.
and Heather reads the books. I don't read the books. I'm like that with the Harry Potter too. I don't read the books. I just watch the movies, and not the reunions. I haven't seen it. Anyway, sorry, I'm not used to having time to talk. Lou, you feeling okay?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to be better.
All
I'm
right.
trying to be better.
Okay.
This is Mediadawgs 2000. The
I don't
other,
know.
I don't know.
I don't know if it'll ever occur, but yeah, it's fun to talk about, just to be on the phone with a millennial who watched Mediadawgs. And
That's cool.
I don't want to say idolizes us or anything, but yeah, he must. But I was thinking about all those people that, like, we've had so many people that like cameramen and drummers and audiences of one, which we stole from Alan Havey.
Yeah,
And I don't know, we're not afraid to steal anything. I like that. But yeah, I let's do another one soon if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, sounds good.
And don't worry, I'll cut out the bits about our personal lives for the most part, unless I think it's juicy.
yes. Unless you think it'll bump ratings, then otherwise leave it on.
Sure.
Mediadawgs tell all.
Yeah.
I've still got all the footage. Yeah, that reminds me. We used to talk about music, and we still have like 7 minutes left. There's a music thing, with Libertyville. Like, I think someone's writing a book called Something in the Water, which would also include like Marlon Brando and but like Adam Jones from Tool is from Libertyville, Tom Morello, Maureen Herman from Babes in Toyland, Philippa Sue from Amelie and Hamilton. But there's a guy who never left town named Ike Riley, but recently he's been putting out albums that are just, so he put out one called Born on Fire that I just kind of struck me as, it just kind of grabbed me. And then he put out another one out. I can't remember the name of that one, and I like that one okay, but he just put one out called Because the Angels, and it's beautiful. He's got a Tony Fitzpatrick cover, on the album cover, the artist from Chicago, the actor Tony Fitzpatrick. You guys look like.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I have to look that, but
What's the name of this album again?
I think it's called Because the Angels. Just look up Ike Riley.
I was just gonna say, I haven't listened to new music since you used to make us those tapes, George. So
Wow.
I don't know anything beyond that,
Well, Ike, I did a little video recording for him a couple of years ago, 2018, maybe 2019. And so I got to do some stuff at Lincoln Hall, and I got to do some work for him at one of my favorite places, the Castle Theater in Bloomington, Illinois. But this album, it was kind of born out of quarantine, although I'd started it before, but he was kind of locked in with his kids, and his mom, and he had to move over to another street in Libertyville. He lived out in this big log cabin mansion out on Oak Spring Road. And he used to host shows there. Like, people would come. He's got a huge base in the States. And it's him like grown up. It's like these are beautiful songs. Some of them are about, he definitely addresses racism and sexism, and it's beautiful stuff. But his kids sing on it too, along with his band that's been with him for years. The Ike Riley assassination doesn't ring a bell at all.
I'm
Well,
gonna
anyway,
listen to it later.
Ike's the one that never left. How do you listen
I got
to
brought
it?
it up.
Do you listen to it on Spotify, or how do you?
I do.
Did I
I
just
do
like-
YouTube. I do a couple of different ones.
Okay.
I need to get rid of something, but
Well, let me make sure that's the name of the album.
Because of the Angels. I see it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a woodpecker on the cover.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Canceled.
Canceled. I don't care what kind of.
As a white person, I can't say peckerwood.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a great movie, by the way. I think it's my favorite John Waters film is Pecker.
Pecker.
I've never seen that.
Oh, Pat, you must see it. Here, I'll give you a pen from my dentist. You can write it down.
I'm going to bring it up right now. I'm bringing up all the stuff you guys are mentioning in tabs then Pecker, John Waters.
Full of grace. Full of grace.
By the way, when we run out of time on this thing, make sure when you add the theme on there, George, have it play you off the stage like you're in the Oscars, and it cuts you off.
Yeah, I'll do that with Pat from the last segment. The poor guy, right in the middle of the sentence. So
I got to see him give a talk one time. It was great.
I did too at the Gordon Center, Lake Forest College. Yeah,
I saw him at Mizzou.
He was on Marin like last year, I think, right? One of the
he's wonderful.
Marin last year. That was great.
let me give a shout out to Marin. I mean, the best interviews, really, I think, because they're as long as they should be.
Yeah.
It's not like a half-hour format. Got to cut you off. It's time. I mean, with Cumberbatch, they just kept talking, and there's spoilers. Oh, because they also talk about the electrical life of Louis Wayne.
Oh, right.
Which I thought was a delightful film.
Yeah, that's on my list to see. I haven't seen that, but Marin it's very conversational. It's like two guys or two people talking and chatting. No,
he's so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marin's so smart.
Yeah. He does his homework for sure. Yeah. And he's, like I said, I just appreciate that. It's kind of like Mediadawgs. It's as long as it should be. Maybe we should meet up tonight at midnight and keep going with this.
Sure.
Just keep going. Oh.
Well, sometimes I think we could. What'd you think about that? Well, don't you think Star Wars sucks? No, I love The Mandalorian. No. Hey, I do have one question left.